Are you the new McLeod for NBC? Or what?
I don't know what I am. Actually, they've given me this opportunity to do a dramatic series, and now we have to go find something that makes sense. And I think that's always the hardest part, because the opportunities, you know, success in one field gives you the opportunity to experiment at a very high level in other fields, but you still have to be right when you do it. So it's kind of fun for me. The thought, we've just started thinking about what we might want to do.
Do you have a good sense of self, knowing what you can and cannot pull off? I mean, are you going to be, can you pull off a detective? I mean, can you do a lawyer like Matlock or what?
Excuse me.
Sure.
You might want to pat this down just a little.
Don't like it.
It's
How's that?
even better.
See that?
Thanks. I'm sorry.
All right, go. I mean, do you know what you can and cannot do, or do you really?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I think that basically I'm not an actor, and I know that. And I try not to kid myself, you know, because I think that's where you get in trouble. If you try to be something you're not. I think the difference is, I think I can act, but I'm not an actor. If you give an actor unbelievable dialogue in an unbelievable situation, he can make it believable. If you give me believable dialogue in a believable situation, I can keep it believable. And there are a lot of people who can't do that. But the real fun of it is to find something that I can have fun with and not feel like I have to act. I don't want to play a psychotic. I don't want to be, you know, I just want to be myself and have fun. And I think there's a place for that if I can find a good script that has warmth and humor to it.
Well, part of country music now, getting back into that subject, is that you almost have to be a little bit of an actor to be able to do the videos and that kind of thing. You just can't go out there and sing anymore.
I think that's really opened up a lot of things for a lot of people, because quite honestly, that's really where we first saw Reba when we were doing The Gamblers, and then we went and looked at what was the movie she did, Tremors,
Yeah, Tremors,
with Kevin Bacon, and realized that this girl can act, and she was perfect for what we were trying to do. But we saw her in videos, so I think there's some truth to that. And I think a lot of guys are doing videos for that purpose, because it does, in fact, give them a chance to showcase what they can do with drama and something away from just singing, and they are getting parts from that.
You've always appealed to a pop audience, even as a quasi-country music. Do you ever consider yourself, by the way, a country music singer? Were you ever?
Well, sure. I think I am a country singer who's had a lot of other musical influences. I was in jazz for 10 years. I was in the New Christy Minstrels for a year and a half, and the First Edition for 9 years. But all the time, I was a country singer who was just visiting in other forms. But I enjoyed those forms while I was there, but my heart and I think my strength is where I am.
But you've always had younger audiences, I think, than most country people and that kind of thing. But how have you seen your audiences change over the time?
One of the beauties of country music is that the demographics are so solid. I mean, we did a demographic study on my audience and found out that something like 25% of my audience is 18 years old and younger. And then the majority, the thrust of it, like 40%, is between 27 and 42 or something. And then there's another contingency that goes over 60 with it. So I think that's a very healthy demographic.
What is your theory on this massive explosion of Garth Brooks and all these people just #1 in the pop charts and that kind of thing?
Well,
besides being good, we'll
no,
say that.
that's a given.
Give us
That's
a given.
Yeah. But I think that there's two things that come into play. First of all, there's a new accounting system. There was a time when you couldn't be #1 in the pop charts unless you were played on a certain series of radio stations. So if they never played you, you could sell 20 million albums and you'd still just be #1 country. So now that they've got this, that whatever you sell dictates the album of the week, and that becomes pop, that's opened up a lot of avenues, and it makes a lot of people who wouldn't listen to country music say, he sold that many records, I need to take a look at this guy. So it compounds itself. Secondly, historically, those of us who've been around for any length of time know that every 10 years, country music becomes the dominant force in American music. It's just that music is typically cyclical. And a lot of that is that it primarily becomes an alternative form of music. People don't relate to pop music anymore because, and this is not totally fair, but I mean, I think the average person, the baby boomers, don't relate to rap songs. And I think all of us can appreciate the quality of what they're doing, but if you can't memorize the lyrics, you can't become familiar with it. And so I think that's a very select group of people that really enjoy that, unless you're a dancer, and a lot of us aren't. So what other form is there? Country music is really I think the dominant bottom line form of music in this country.
What is your opinion of Hot Country Nights? I mean, what do you think that's, because that's another level. I mean, it's been great on cable.
She actually still must.
That's fine. That would be probably
Okay.
a little underlight.
Oh, good. Okay. Redeeming.
I would react only on the appearance.
Okay.
Hi. Hello there.
That's going to change everything. That's going to change everything in the EQ.
Just watch your head, forehead, speak.
You just want the answer?
Let's go for it.
I think one of the reasons country is so big is sitting behind me up there's a fellow named Clint Black. We have stars today that people can relate to. Reminds me very much of the late 50s and early 60s. There wasn't any musical prejudice. People liked all kinds of music. There's a lot of country music, a lot of rhythm and blues, and all of a sudden, country is wide. There's all kinds of choices. It's very, very reminiscent of the birth of rock and roll.
I guess this year on the American Music Awards, you'll have to do more country than ever.
No, I probably won't have anybody there. No. Are you kidding? Of course. I mean, it's a mandatory thing. Garth is already set. Reba is set. Winona Judd is going to make her first appearance as a soloist, and there's one other booking that is in the works and will be announced ever so shortly.
You know, country music really is exciting right now, and I know it's been around a long time, and I've been excited periodically about things, but what is it about right now? I mean, what is going on that just makes, is it the entertainers are exciting or what?
Somebody said the other day, hey, it's the urban cowboy all over again. I said, no, you don't understand. That was a fad. This is deeply seated. It's no longer music for a geographical area of the country. It belongs to everybody. You never had to be ashamed to say you were a country lover, but more people have discovered that.
Hey,
more
check.
people
Hello.
in what
Hey, you hear that?
Hey, Clint, hold it down, Clint, will you? More people in the what I call mature young group, old young
Hello.
people.
Hey, 1, 2.
They're
Check.
into this
Hey,
music.
Hey, check.
And it's coming
Hey.
through loud and clear. We'll do that
That was a
again.
good edit right there. That was a natural. Let's see, you were talking about Clint, about the guys.
A hole in the audio.
Figure it out. We'll see if we have to read
Jeff. Yeah.
Gene's going to talk.
That's okay. We'll read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody said the other day, oh, this is just the urban cowboy syndrome all over again. I said, no, that was a fad. This is deep-seated. All of a sudden, there's an age group of people who are not being serviced by their music. They need to go back and listen to the music they grew up with as kids. If they're not into dance or rap or heavy metal, they have suddenly discovered music that pleases their ear. It's of their contemporaries. It's what I call the old young people. And I don't know if anybody wants that, but it means it's a mature young person. And they're just taking this music and put it through the roof.
And so the audience have changed. Are these boys and girls that are up there singing, are they that different than the ones you've watched for 20 and 30 years?
I think everybody's different because we're all more sophisticated. We're more urban in our approach. We know more about the world. We eat all kinds of different food. We sampled all sorts of philosophies and religions and so forth. And country people are no different from anybody else. We've all been mixed together a bit.
What are your hopes for this show?
I hope it's a big hit. What makes me happiest about it is everybody's rooting for the success of Hot Country Nights. The artists, the labels, radio stations. Let's see.
Is that good for you?
Yeah.
In the music? Right.
It's like talking up a record, kind of, so hopefully we'll...
We'll have you standing up here to the intro, then you can slide back here a little bit. Standing up here to the It's fine. Yeah, I'd rather you do that way. You can move around with my. We'll let you stand handheld. Folks, I gotta have somebody. Let me.
Will tell you great things happen. There's a kind of a new trend in country music, and that is that several major artists now go out on tour and work together. I want to invite these guys back out here and show you some of the things that happen backstage at a major concert. This is one of the great... Amen.